that these persons have already been punished. These persons have already served the time. They have already lost, they forfeited their assets. Okay? It's just that if they apply for pardon, then the state then says, okay, the purpose it's a very strong message about the purpose of punishment.
Let's look at the issue of morality, which is what a lot of people are crying out about. Morality in this sense is that the case we have in Nigeria now, we have serious issue of corruption. And then what a lot of people are crying out about is impunity that goes with that level of corruption. You have people who are being said to have stolen money. Quite a sizable number of governors have been alleged to have stolen money. None of them have been punished except what we see now, which is Alamesia. And of course, Ibori, who is in the United Kingdom. So you're talking about impunity. The moral lesson there for us is, as a nation, we need to take a strong stance against corruption. But where somebody has been declared corrupt and convicted, then we give that person a state pardon.
You don't seem to get the point.
I get your point.
No, it is the same morality that I'm addressing, and it is as follows. In the case of Alam Yesega, he's been convicted, he's been punished. Yeah. In the case of Bulama, he's been convicted, he's been punished. State pardon simply means forgiveness of crime and, probably the reduction of the stigma. But that stigma will be there forever.
Yes.
Because these are persons in society. Yes. And I made the point that the fact that Mr. X has been pardoned does not mean, that an erosion of the integrity of the institutions that are supposed to deal with corruption. Those institutions are still in place. What you should be saying is that you want to see more people convicted. Because once you are convicted, it doesn't even matter that you are pardoned later on. That stigma is a scintilla, a measure of that stigma.
Let me rephrase my question.
So it's not as if the state is going to stop prosecuting and convicting people who are corrupt because Mr. X or Mr. Y have been...
Okay, let me rephrase my question. When you have a situation where somebody has committed a crime, or several people committed crime against the nation, against the state, against the people, and they've not been punished. So there is a sense of, there is impunity in the land. People who have stolen money, they've been able to get away with it.
Okay, let me address that question from
and you then have one person, the only person amongst a generation from 1999 to date, the only one to have been taken to court and punished, that only one is now being pardoned as well.
Just wait. This issue comes up all the time, about corruption, about people being dealt with, about the administration not fighting corruption enough. And my response has always been this, that the administration is dealing with corruption. And I think on this program, the last time I appeared on this platform, I outlined some of those issues. And I made it very clear that as we sit, there are persons that are in court who have been tried. This year alone, last year, the EFCC made it clear that it had secured 200 convictions within a six months period. Now, these things are ongoing. It's just that Nigerians want drama. They like drama. Okay? They look at particular cases that have histrionic effect. And they want those cases, to give them that histrionic theatrical effect. The issue, however, is that many of those cases that are in court, have you heard government saying that those cases should not continue? Those cases are continuing. It's just unfortunate that the wheel of justice grinds slowly. Okay, but that has nothing to do with the commitment of the executive to ensure that persons are punished. And I want to assure you that President Jonathan will not condone any act of corruption. That this administration is committed to trying corrupt persons.
What has happened in the oil sector? What has happened in the oil sector?
That has already been indicated.
Yes.
With the fact that it was this same government that blew the whistle on the fuel subsidy scam.
And what has it done?
And on the basis of that, persons are in court. Persons are being made to have their day in court and to answer for their misdeeds.
Yes, they are.
But the executive is not going to dictate to the judiciary to say, because Nigerians want this thing resolved very quickly, the judiciary should do this, should do that. Don't forget that there is the principle of the separation of powers. When we ask for the rule of law, we must respect it and we must allow it to work through and, to be operational.